Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss Don't Look Up, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, Meryl Streep, Kate Blanchett, Rob Morgan, Jonah Hill, Mark Rylance, Tyler Perry, Timothy Chalamet, Ron Perlman, Ariana Grande, Kid Cudi, Himesh Patel, Melanie Linsky, and Michael Chiklis, directed by Adam McKay. Now, I don't know much about this movie except for it's about an asteroid falling to Earth. Let's see if that still remains true and how different this could be. Let's take a look. We open with Kate Diabiaski's, played by Jennifer Lawrence, discovering an asteroid coming in the office of Dr. Randall Mindy, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, that'll explode on planet Earth. And Randall and Kate first tell Dr. Teddy Thorpe, played by Rob Morgan, and they try to warn President Orlean, played by Meryl Streep, that the asteroid is coming, and she doesn't believe it. While I get the impression, and Republicans, I suggest you stop watching this show and do not watch the movie if this is going to offend you. Kate is the Dr. Anthony Fauci character as we meet President Orlean, aka the Meryl Streep character, who's the character portraying Donald Trump. And her son Jason, played by Jonah Hill, is his son Don Jr. in a satire kind of way, which is kind of making me laugh. But now I'm not a Republican nor a Democrat. I'm more on the independent side, I'll say. But I'm going to with it as a satire. Before going to the meeting with President Orleans, she makes them wait for a day, and eventually they do come in, and she treats them like a joke. When the asteroid going to Earth, this is a serious situation. While General makes Teddy, Kate, and Randall pay for snacks and water when it's free, which is a ripoff and a hilarious choice for the movie. Kate is on the phone in the hotel room with her boyfriend Philip, played by Himesh Patel, while Randall is on the phone with his wife June, played by Melanie Linsky, and their two sons. And the next day, they do, like I said before, like President Orlean, and she treats it like a joke, while Jason is making fun of Randall's breathing as he's breathing heavily while explaining the coma killing the Earth. And some of the characters I like, for example, Randall, his wife June, and kids as well, and Kate and Teddy. And the ones I do not like is President Orlean, her son Jason, and Philip, as President Orlean legalized smoking weed like Donald Trump did when he ran for president. Or maybe it wasn't his fault, but I don't know. And Jason annoyed the fucking shit out of me, as does Jonah Hill, who isn't annoying in movies like 21 Jump Street, Cyrus, and Moneyball, The Wolf of Wall Street, and Superbad. But in his other movies, he's a really fucking annoying in general. Even in 22 Jump Street and The Sitter. Another character I don't like is also introduced as Peter Isherwell, played by Mark Rylance, who's Steve Jobs, if he were still alive, may he rest in peace, as he comes off like a fucking asshole, while people are, including Philip, thinks the comedy is a joke, as it gets closer and closer every day, as this satire is funny, but unfortunately, I'm so far not having the best time laughing, talking about this movie in general. Randall and Kate go on a live broadcast TV news show as Randall is very nervous as he has a meltdown in the bathroom, and when they go on, they meet anchors of the Daily Rip named Jack Bremer, played by Tyler Perry, and Brie Avanti, played by Kate Blanchett, as well as a popular singer named Riley Bina, played by Ariana Grande, who comes off rude at first, who broke up with DJ Cello, played by Kid Cudi, but she says she would take him back, and she would marry him after taking him back, as he proposes on live TV, as she comes sort of likable at the end of the day. Meanwhile, Jack and Bree come off very unlikable after they interview Randall and Kate has a meltdown about an asteroid is coming towards their direction, and I get the impression this is Fox News, where they love President Orlean but do not like Kate, but like Randall for whatever reason, as Bree romances him and Philip breaks up with Kate, as most people in the world don't like Kate, including Philip. And honestly, I hate talking about politics on a show where I want to talk about how I feel about a movie. This is reminding me of when I reviewed Vice President Dick Cheney's biopic back in early 2019, where I don't like talking about politics explicitly on a movie review show. And this movie isn't giving me really any choice. Like, no fucking choice whatsoever. It's the same director. The FBI arrest and take Randall, Kate, and Teddy to the White House to talk about apologizing for treating their news like a joke, talking about it on the TV as they were relieved, and President Orlean makes a speech to the American people without bringing up the asteroid and hire Benedict Drask, played by Ron Perlman, whom I'm always happy to see in any movie in general, including in movies I don't like. For example, Guillermo del Toro's Nightmare Alley recently to destroy the asteroid with Peter, aka Mark Rylance, the Mark Rylance character, and the Steve Jobs act alike, while Randall goes in front of magazines and appears on not just the news, but kids shows like Sesame Street, for example, which is cute. While Kate and Teddy get interviewed on the TV by what's his name, Dan Paquette, played by Michael Chiklis, while Bree begins to romance Randall, and Leo and Kate Blanchett have chemistry. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want to see them get together at the end of the day, as she doesn't give a shit what he says. Benedict goes on a rocket ship, and as it takes off, and Peter is led to believe and tells President Orlean it's not going to work as the rocket takes off, and splits off, and it turns around, and the mission is a disgrace, which is kind of a dumb move on their part, as the movie is a little too long. Randall, Teddy, and Kate are locked in a room while Randall goes in a meeting and becomes the science officer, as Jason leaves Kate and Teddy and treat them like dogs by getting newspapers if they need to use the restroom. And I'm like, oh my god, while Peter tells the White House to abort the mission and treat the scientists like garbage, which sounds familiar, as the rocket scenes can be cut out of the movie while Randall takes Kate and Teddy to a bar and tell everybody they're going to die. And there is a comet coming to Earth to blow civilization up. Like, what happened to the dinosaurs many years ago? As these scenes take way too long. Kate riles people up by rampaging the city, and Randall and Teddy put her in a car as Teddy walks away, and Kate gets sued and is no longer working for Randall and moves back at his parents' place under the condition of not talking about politics. And June leaves Randall for now while he's dating Bree, who's such a slut, as June tells Bree to take care of him by throwing his medicine at him, which was kind of a well-acted scene as the movie is well made, sure. Kate meets Yule, played by Timothy Chalamet, and he's having quite a year with this, Dune, and the French Dispatch at a store, as he gets to know Kate and will eventually date her, and he's the best thing about the movie as they have such chemistry. Randall tells Peter he's an important businessman as he yells at him for calling him a businessman, as he comes off like an asshole. As he tells Randall he's going to die alone, and this movie is slowing down quite a bit as my opinion of the movie is dying down just a little while Randall is on Bree's show once again, and he melts down and tells everybody they're going to fucking die, which is an awesome scene. But again, there's times when the movie is taking too long. Like, get to the fucking point. Bree leaves Randall while Kate and Yule are in a love as Randall goes back to his normal life and sees the comet getting closer, and believe it or not, so does Kate and Randall, as he calls her, Kate, and lets others know they were trying to warn them, and points it out to everyone, and picks up Kate and Yule and tells everybody to look up, while President Orlean and her supporters say don't look up, which reminds me of two things. One is the January 6th incident of this year, or no, it was last year, and the other is COVID, as Chris Evans promotes a movie and to look up, while Riley Bina and DJ Cello say look up, and one of the lyrics did crack me up where she said get your head out of your ass, which made me laughing out loud so fucking hard. It was so funny. But I do like the cameos, and the scenes are taking too long, like I said, as I can't bring up any more politics at this point. Randall, Kate, and Teddy get back together and hear news about their mission failed. And I'm thinking, is there more to the movie? Because I've got 30 more minutes of this movie left to go, as people learn President Orlean and the government lied to the people, while Randall and Kate, Yule, and Teddy go back to the Michigan, and there's no cars out there for hours. and goes straight to the grocery store and go back to the house where June is at and asks her to forgive them, I'll say, as she does have one last family dinner before the asteroid explodes, while President Orlean, along with Jason and Peter, go on live TV to stay indoors as another rocket takes off and lose some rockets and escape in a helicopter. And Bree and Jack have one last cocktail, and everybody blows up and dies as there's people who go to a different Earth in a spaceship, which reminded me of Alien and getting eaten by some giant dinosaur, ostrich-looking creatures. And Jason is the only one who survived on Earth, leading to believe everybody is coming back, and it serves him right as the climax was in your face to the Republicans, as they should not watch this movie, but in my opinion, it's long, but at the same time, I laughed here and there. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 5.7 out of 10. This movie is in your face to the Republicans, and this is as a satire, is something not for the Republicans to watch. While I don't like most of the characters, but there's a few I did like. For example, Randall, along with his wife and kids, Kate, Yule, and Teddy, as well as Ron Perlman's character. The writing along with the dialogue is hilarious, as it reminds me a hell of a lot of the politics today, which is not the best idea to put in a movie, in my opinion. The movie at the end of the day was alright, as it's not a great movie, but I did laugh my ass off. But unfortunately, this movie is a little too long. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining me for Don't Look Up, and until then, don't look, or no, look up. I don't, now I think about it.